this is question 6, web design, and the file we're looking at is 6, entertainment. The exam will always tell you to open this up in your browser as well as in your HTML editor. I completely agree. Make sure you always open them up. I'm going to show you now how to do that. So first of all, you can see I've got the Chrome icon over here. That's because I'm set to default on Chrome. If you have Internet Explorer, you'll see the E, Firefox. So whatever browser you have as default on your machine, that's what you're going to see. And when you double click on the file, it will open within that browser. Okay, so once I've opened that up, I'm going to minimize. And then I'm going to right click on it. And if you have Notepad++ installed, it will come up and you can say edit with Notepad, and there we go. This is the HTML editor that we can be using. Alright, what's nice about this is they've got the comment in here for us. So you'll see when it says 6.1, it will refer to that exact line of code. So it says here, the font is not displaying correctly. Correct the error. So we are going to look at our web page, and we're going to look at our example. Now our example says DSTV versus Showmax versus Netflix, which is what we see there, but the font does not look the same. Which one to choose? This also doesn't look like the right font, so this is what we need to fix. Let's go into our code. Here where it says type, that is the wrong attribute. We need to say face. So Control S to save. When we go to our browser now and push F5 to refresh, you can see now that the font looks the same as the example. Yeah, that was a little tricky in the sense that you've got to really look carefully to find the error there. Alright, so that was one mark. Now we're looking at 6.2. Insert a horizontal line below the heading 2, heading with a size of 10, and use the color code hashtag 3399FF for the line. So H1 is heading 1, H2 is heading 2. So here where it says 6.2 in that line, we are going to add a tab called the HR. Remember, it's a self-closing tag, so you're going to put that / there, and then in between the R and the / space, and this is where we're going to type in our attribute. So the first attribute, they want the size to be 10, so we're going to say size equals, open up your quotation marks, 10, and then close the quotation marks. Guys, when we're dealing with attributes, that always goes in the opening part of the bracket or in the opening tag. In this case, this is a self-closing, so it opens and closes. So make sure you're in the front part of that / and then it's the attribute name, then it's the equal sign, and then always the value goes into quotation marks. Alright, so that's the first thing we have to do is the size, and then they want the color, and please watch the spelling for color, it's the American spelling, quotation mark, hashtag, and then the code is 3399FF, and you close. I'm going to save this now. That's Control S, go to my browser and F5, and there we can see the thick line. That's because of the size 10, and the color is the color that we typed in. There was 3 marks. Now it says create a table as shown in the example below, which will contain links that will open other pages. The table stretches 100% over the web page with a width of 25% for each cell. the text is aligned in the center. So if we look at our example, the table that we're going to design now is going to go between our horizontal line and this writing here. So let's go into our editor. We need to find the line that we're going to be working with. And then over here, I'm going to start with my table. So the first thing we're going to do is open up a table tab. So there's my table tag, and it says that the table stretches 100% over the web page with a width of 25% for each cell. So what we're going to do inside here is say width equals 100%, and that's going to stretch the table right across the web page. So now what we're going to do here is push enter. The tab key, we're going to create one table row, and this is how we close the table row. And inside here we need to put in 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cell we're going to say, if we say table heading, it will automatically place the heading in the center and it will make it bold, which is what the question wants us to do. But if we say table row, table data, we can then fix the attribute and say align center. So let's just do table heading, and then over here we're going to close table heading. Then again we're going to open up table heading, close table heading, close. Right, so there we go. This first heading here is going to be home. The next heading is going to be background. The following will be promotions. And then the last one is going to be contacts. Right, so we've got all the data in that we need there. Let's not forget now to close our table. As you can see, the table there, opening and closing tab, the table row, opening and closing, and then each of my cells are there. Alright, so now one thing we need to do is make the width of each of these cells 25%. So we're going to go into the table heading, and I'm going to say width equals 25%. I'm going to just copy that, and then Control V to paste. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to save, go to my browser, and push F5 to refresh. So there we've put the table in. Right now, as you can see, there are no outlines on this table. The question asked us to create a table as shown in the example below. It gave us 2 bullets, but if we look at this, it doesn't look like the example below. So we need to fix this to look like the example. So we go back into the code. Over here, the table, we need to have a border. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say 2 centimeters. We're going to save it. Go and view the table by pushing F5 here. And there we go. We've got our table, which would then be created with hyperlinks, and we can click on these names to go to the different pages. Alright, so there was 7 marks. Now it says insert the image 6 Netflix to appear the same as the other images. So if you look at your example in your textbook, there is an image here too that appears like these images. So what we need to do first of all is go and find those other images. So here you can see image source, DSTV, it's a JPEG, the height is 50, the width is 50. Over here, height is 50, width is 50. So all the images that are inside that table in the top row, which is this one here, are all going to be set the same. So why not just copy and then come to this one and paste. So if we do that, we've already got the size, the width, these attributes are in. The source attribute is in. The only difference or problem here is that we're using the DSTV image and they want us to use the 6 Netflix. So we say 6 Netflix dot PNG. Okay, we're going to save. Over here we will refresh, and there we go. Netflix gets added in. If you look at your example in your test, it looks exactly like that. Alright, now it says ensure that there is a merged row between the image and the data. So a merged row, so over here they want a merged row between the image and the data. This whole row needs to be merged. So let's go to our code, table data, BG color is black, that's what we're seeing over there. So now we're going to take this and we're going to stretch it across these columns. Can you see it's moving across the columns? So the attribute we're going to use in the cell is col span, and we're going to span it across 1, 2, and 3. So let's go in there. Space col span is the attribute name. Don't forget then the equals. We open up the quotation mark, 3, close it, and save. Let's go see what this looks like. F5, and there now we've got the line that spans across the images, as does it in your example. Add a hyperlink to the word television that would open to the address www.specials.co.za. So we're going to go inside here. Over here is 6.6. This is where they want us to add the hyperlink to this word here, television. You can see that there is an anchor that is open, closed here, but there is no open anchor. So they're giving you a clue that you need to add an anchor over there. Now the attribute for a hyperlink is href equals quotation marks, and then we type in the address www.specials.co.za, and then don't forget to close the quotation. Alright, so there is my hyperlink. I'm going to Control S to save. When I go into my browser and I push F5, there you can see the television is now a hyperlink. When I move the mouse hand over there, it changes to a hand. Alright, and at the bottom of the screen there, you can read it's pointing to www.specials.co.za. Alright, and then the last question, 6.7. Ensure that the list in the last cell appears the same as the other bullets in the web page. So let's quickly go here and look. So the list in the last cell, if we look here, this one here, and you see these dots are solid and these ones are open. We need them to look the same. Okay, so easiest thing to do is to go in here to see what this list looks like, and you can see it says UL, and there's no attribute, nothing on this one, but if we come here, you'll see the UL type equals circle. So this is really what we want to add to this opening tag here. When we save it and we go and refresh here, you can now see that it is exactly the same. Once you've done there, you can close your browser and then you can close your web page. That was a total of 20 marks. Well done.